Okay, history. I'm trying not to overwhelm you with too much information. There's definitely more to each subject than I'm giving you. I know there's only so much information that one person can take in. So, what I want you to find in from your grab bag is the history cards. These stay home, and the geography binders stay home. Now, I mentioned it way back in the very first video that there may be exceptions here and there. The geography binder is the exception. So it stays home. Your student needs to do that work. You need to check it. You need to make sure they're doing the work. I don't mean by grading it, but you need to check and make sure that they're doing what's expected of them. And then usually the week leading up to the test, I will say on the assignment sheet, be sure you bring the geography binder on test day. And while they're taking their test, I'm checking their binders. It's a great system. And I'm just going over, making sure that they did the things that were expected of them in the last 4, 5, 6 weeks. So I will let you know, and I try to do it on that very first class day so that if they forget, they can bring it on the next class day. But that's kind of the rhythm that we got into with the geography binders, and it went really well last year. So I think I'll keep doing that. Okay, and then these cards. So the cards, we study early American history. It's really great. We study all the early explorers and then the colonization of America leading into the American Revolution. And we end the year with Lewis and Clark. And these cards provide a framework. We study pretty much every single card, but there's a few that we skip. There's a few that I double up together. There's a few that we spend more than 1 week on. But overall, we spend 1 week on each card. These titles, whenever I say study over your titles and dates, this is the title and date. Okay, so every satellite day, I make room for a little time to study over their memory work, and the memory work I'll put is very specific. The first 5 cards, make sure you're studying over those titles and dates. So it's not just this, like how many cards or how many titles and dates. It's very clear. I also put it in their history binder. Now, you don't have the history binder because that is something that travels back and forth. So this little guy is our history binder, and maybe you figured out a theme. We've got our math notes binder, our English binder, and a history binder. Those are the only 3 binders, and but the history binder has everything that they will need for their satellite day, for the unit that we're in. So right now we're starting the year off with explorers. So everything that they would need for that explorer unit is in this binder. It has their Veritas questions. The worksheet that they do in cursive is in this binder. It has any articles that I want them to read and reinforce the event that's studied in class is in this binder. So on the assignment sheet, it will say, find page 7 in your history binder and answer the Veritas questions. So that's what in here I'll show you on page 7. Behind the Explorers tab. See that? Here's an example. I have all the memory work right there in the front page too. Okay. But page 7, I'll flip to it. And here are their Veritas questions that go along with Prince Henry the Navigator. Every question can be answered using this card. They'll find the answers on the card. These Veritas questions, always assigned on satellite day 1, they are to be done in cursive and a complete sentence. So whenever I'm checking these, I'm looking for capital letters, end marks, I'm looking for beautiful cursive. I'm going to make sure that there's a cursive sheet in the front of these binders also. It's not in them right this second, but I'm going to make sure we get those. Maybe I'll have them for the first day of school, but at least if I don't, it will be within the first week or 2. Then when we get to, and I ask that you have your student keep it in their binder. Maybe if they want to take it out to do the work, maybe they like a hard surface behind it, that's fine. But then have them put have them put it back in the right spot in their binder. So page 7 needs to go between 6 and 8. And if you can help them with that, don't have them put it at the front of their binder for me to check. I will say on that when they come back for history class, open up your binder to page 7. I'm going to walk around. I'm going to put a check mark or a stamp that says Mrs. Scheffler likes this. And that just shows that I saw it and I've recorded that grade. We're good to go. Satellite day 2 and 3, that is always satellite day 1, is to do the Veritas cards. I give extra time on that day so that they can really work on their cursive, so that they can become familiar with that card. Okay. Oops. Satellite day 2 and 3 are maybe an article in the binder that they'll read and then answer questions. So it'll be comprehension questions. I add in geography on satellite day 2 and 3, as well as Dr. Henry and Mrs. Ernest have put together this really great read aloud program that's optional for families to take advantage of, but where we have fit in time for that read aloud is during the history hour on satellite day 2 and 3. I looked over that book list. It looks wonderful. I encourage you to take advantage of that. Some of my sweetest memories with my kids has been through read alouds. So take advantage of that, okay? I feel like there might be something I'm missing. Okay, so this travels back and forth every class day. I'll give your student one of these on the first day of school. I think that's it. All right, stay tuned for science. I look forward to your questions.